State prosecutors want to revoke bond for Eddie Smith, an alleged co-conspirator of Alex Murdaugh in an apparent drug trafficking and money laundering scheme. A bond hearing for Smith is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon in Columbia in front of Judge Clifton Newman. This is the same judge who in June set a $250,000 bond for Smith with conditions of house arrest, GPS monitoring, and drug testing. But the motion to revoke his bond states Smith violated his house arrest on more than one occasion.
And tonight, an alleged co-conspirator of Alex Murdaugh went to bond court on new charges. Curtis Eddie Smith is accused of laundering millions of dollars with Alex.
And authorities revealed today that money was being used to support a drug network. Investigative reporter Ann Emerson is in Columbia with the latest.
Curtis Eddie Smith has been indicted on money laundering, forgery, and criminal conspiracy charges, all stemming back to his longtime relationship with Alex Murdaugh. If convicted, his sentence could be 122 years behind bars.
I don't have any money. All the money that Mr. Waters talking about, Alex Murdaugh got all that. I didn't get none of it.
Eddie Smith tried to defend his innocence today as the state laid out an 8-year conspiracy between him and Alex, totaling nearly $2.5 million.
A large portion or a substantial portion of all those millions of dollars did go to facilitate this oxycodone distribution network, and Mr. Smith was a big part of it.
Smith was already facing drug and gun charges after he allegedly took part in Alex's assisted suicide attempt back in the fall. That's when I last spoke to him. Why do you feel betrayed?
I consider him one of my best friends. He's like a brother to me.
After the hearing, I asked his lawyer, Jarrett Bouchette, about that relationship.
At what point he told me he thought Mr. Murdaugh was like a brother to him in an interview he did with me.
Well, like I said, I think that all that story is going to come out over time as we let this process play out.
Right now, prosecutors say Smith and Alex laundered the drug money in transactions amounting to less than $10,000 each. That's how they managed to avoid the bank's detection for years. But just before the murders of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh in June of 2021, that process changed dramatically.
What we see around March is moving from March into June of 2021 and thereafter is an extreme acceleration of the amounts that Mr. Murdaugh is washing through the aid of Eddie Smith. The amounts increased vastly, and they no longer are paying attention to the structuring problem. Structuring meaning trying to do transactions under $10,000 and splitting them up so they cannot be detected.
So why did that process change? We're told more is coming out in this investigation, and it may well include Smith. But in the meantime, the judge has granted him a surety bond of $250,000. Reporting in Columbia, I'm Ann Emerson.
If Smith does make the full bond, he will be under house arrest with GPS monitoring and periodic drug testing.